Welcome along to the glorious Philips Stadion here, the home of PSV Eindhoven, of course, Leicester City's opponents in the quarter-final of the UEFA Europa Conference League. Gerry Taggart joins me, Dan Bates here, the day before the game to come around and have a look, Gerry, and it is a magnificent stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You feel there's going to be a really good atmosphere tomorrow night. So a real treat for those travelling Leicester City fans here.
We've been saying a lot in the build-up to this one that it very much is all to play for, isn't it? The tie is in the balance after that 0-0 draw last week.
Yeah, I think when you cut apart the game last week, Eindhoven, of course, came here. They probably sat back a little bit more than what they're used to doing here at home. I can only remember once when they really troubled Kasper Schmeichel, and that was early on in the first half. I expect that to change. I expect the style of football to change. So it's going to make for a really, really interesting game. On the flip side, I think Leicester will still have their chances tomorrow night. It's whether or not they can take it.
An interesting game, a tough game, says Gerry Taggart. Well, his Northern Irish compatriot Brendan Rodgers faced the media assessing this game as well.
We'll go with a real positive mentality and look to go and play our game. Obviously away from home, second leg, it's all to play for. So, but for us, it's really important to go and be aggressive and keep up this strong mentality that we have at the moment. And like I said, we go with no fear. It's we're used to playing in big games here in our domestic league, and we'll go away really looking forward to it.
It's an opportunity to take the football club into their first European semi-final. How much do you relish that opportunity in such big games?
Yeah, absolutely. I think to be the first to do anything, it's always nice. We had that feeling with the FA Cup, and it is a great feeling. And of course, we're a club unlike PSV, who I read before the last game that they qualified for 48 European competitions on the trot, which shows you the history that they have in European competition. So for us, we're complete opposite to that, very, very inexperienced. But the only way you do is by achieving, and this is a great opportunity for us to do that. So we are ready to grasp it. The first leg gives us great motivation that we can do that, and like I say, we'll fight and do everything we possibly can to get to the semi-final.
How much experience will Brendan Rodgers and the Leicester group take, Gerry, do you think, from the last round against Rennes, and how difficult a place that was to go?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, obviously that mental fortitude that's needed to get through in these European ties, is uppermost. And he'll be making sure that the players understand that. I'm sure the players will, and that's what they'll take from that game against Rennes, is they have to be mentally ready for the challenge ahead.
Who will be the key players, do you think, from a Leicester point of view?
Well, obviously the spine of your team is vitally important. You're looking obviously at Kasper and Johnny Evans at the back. All the experience is there. And then again, we always talk about the midfield, the central midfield areas, where that's where they can really get a grip of the game, get a hold of the game, and put PSV on the back foot. And obviously the crunch part of the pitch is up front, and you're just hoping that, on this occasion, unlike last week, that when Leicester do get a couple of chances, they can at least convert one or two of them.
Well, one of those members of the spine of this Leicester team that Gerry's been referencing is Fox's captain, Kasper Schmeichel, and he faced the media at Seagrave this morning.
Expect a tough game. They're second in their league, only a few points behind Ajax, so they're a proven good team. I think it's going to be an amazing atmosphere, and it's going to be tough. But we've been in tough situations before. Just in the last round against Rennes, we came into a cauldron that was fantastic, and we rose to the occasion. There was a lot of noise, and I'm very expectant crowd, and I expect tomorrow will be no different. But for us, we approach the game like we approach any other game. So the expectations that we set ourselves, couldn't really be higher. Yeah, these are the type of games you want to play in, where everything's on the line, and you can end up with big prizes. And I think that's what we all play football for. We play football for the big occasions, and tomorrow's a massive occasion for us. Yeah.
We've made a tactical switch here. We've brought in our European football expert and commentator, Chris Harrott. Chris, PSV, like Leicester, made a number of changes, didn't they, at the weekend? So we'll probably expect to see a similar side that played in Leicester last week?
I think so. Eric Gutierrez is coming back from suspension, which is definitely a big boost for PSV. They did make some changes against Arkise Waalwijk, a very comprehensive, comfortable victory, but they potentially lost two big players to injury. Noni Madueke might be out, we don't know yet. Roger Schmidt's going to speak to the media a bit later. Olivier Boscagli is out, probably one of their best performers at King Power Stadium, the French centre-back. So someone is going to have to replace him. And for what was on paper the perfect fixture last weekend between the two Leicester games, they actually lost one, if not two, of their key players to muscle injuries in that game.
Finally, what can we expect? What can the Leicester fans expect from the atmosphere here tomorrow?
It'll be brilliant. PSV are a famous club. They've won it all, including the European Cup in the 80s. They've not been to a European quarter-final for 10 years. This place has 28,000 season ticket holders. It's a big night for PSV Eindhoven. You only have to walk around the ground and see some of the great players who have played here. Ronaldo, Romario, Ruud van Nistelrooy, who's going to take over in the summer. But this current crop haven't been to a European quarter-final, and the opportunity to reach a European semi-final doesn't come around too often. They're also in the Dutch Cup final at the weekend, so it's a big week full stop for PSV Eindhoven.
Well, the Foxes had to deal with an intimidating atmosphere in the last round in men, and they'll be hoping for another similar big away performance.